Here's something wild I discovered while I've been building Clockless. I can now build a feature faster than I could do the research to figure out whether or not I should build it. Think about that for a second. The time it takes to survey users, schedule interviews, analyze feedback, debate priorities, and build a business case for a single feature is now longer than it takes to just build the thing. That realization has changed everything about how I run my product roadmap, and it should change yours too. Let me paint a picture for you about how product roadmaps used to work, and honestly, how most companies still run them today. The process would start when a customer would ask for a feature. It would go into the backlog, someone would write a user story. The product team might debate it. Maybe they schedule a few UX research interviews. Then they run surveys, they interview 5 more people to see if the need is widespread enough to justify the effort. Then someone estimates the development time. 2 sprints, maybe 3. They weigh it against everything else on the product roadmap. Then they prioritize it, they plan it, and they assign the work. By the time that feature ships, upwards of 3 to 6 months may have passed, sometimes longer. That process made sense when building was expensive, when every feature required a team of engineers and weeks of development. You had to be sure before you committed those resources. But that world doesn't exist anymore. Let's talk about what has created this change, and it's the fact that AI has collapsed the cost of building. What used to take a team of engineers 2 to 3 weeks can now be done by a solo founder in a day, sometimes in hours. The numbers back this up. Developers using AI tools can complete over twice as many projects per week. AI native startups reach product market fit over 2 times faster than traditional companies. The cost of going from idea to MVP has dropped from tens of thousands of dollars to under 100. This fundamentally changes the math on your product roadmap. When building is cheap and fast, the bottleneck is no longer development. The bottleneck is information, figuring out what to build next. The traditional approach says, do the research first, then build. The new approach flips that. Build first and let the data tell you if it was worth it. This is not reckless, this is rational. When building costs almost nothing and takes almost no time, the risk of building something nobody uses is tiny. The risk of spending 3 months researching something you could have tested in a day, that is the real waste. So here's the new playbook, and the best part is, it's simple and easy to follow. A customer asks for something. You evaluate it with 2 quick filters. 1, does it seem reasonable? Does it fit within the product's purpose? 2, would it mess up the UX or pull the product into a completely different direction? If the answer is yes, it seems reasonable, and no, it would not wreck the experience, just build it. Do not schedule a meeting about it, do not run a survey, do not add it to the backlog for Q3. Just build it. Then wrap analytics around it. Track whether people actually use it, see who engages with it and how often. This is a data-driven roadmap. Only instead of researching before you build, you are building before you research. You are letting real user behavior tell you what matters. With Clockless, I have been doing exactly this. A customer mentioned something that would help their workflow. If it makes sense and it fits the product, I build it, usually the same day. Then I watch the data. Do they actually use it? Do other customers discover it on their own? The feature either earns its place or it doesn't. And here's where this gets really cool. You can now do A/B testing with features. Not in the traditional sense with split traffic and statistical significance calculators, in the practical Bootstrapper sense. Ship the feature, see if people use it. If they do, iterate and make it better. If they do not, rip it out or feature flag it for a later date. The old A/B test required traffic volume, engineering resources, or feature flags, and weeks of data collection. The Bootstrapper version requires one thing: speed. Build it, ship it, watch the dashboard, and make a call. Sure, you could spend weeks gathering UX research feedback. You could run surveys and conduct interviews and build personas and map user journeys. There's value in all of that work, but at some point the rubber must meet the road, putting the feature in front of real users and seeing what happens. AI has made that moment come first instead of last. You no longer need to justify the investment of building before you can test in production. Building is the test. Now, this strategy only works if you're going to wrap analytics around everything you build. That part is non-negotiable. You need to track feature adoption. Who clicked it? How often? Did they come back to it? Did they complete the workflow or abandon it halfway through? Tools like PostHog make this straightforward. Event tracking, feature flags, and session recordings. Everything you need to understand whether a feature is earning its place. The key metrics are simple. Adoption rate. What percentage of users tried the feature? Retention. Did they come back and use it again? Completion. Did they finish the workflow or bail out? Time to value. How quickly did they get something useful out of it? If a feature shows strong adoption and retention, you know it's a winner. Double down. Make it better. Ask those specific users for feedback on how to improve it. If a feature sits untouched for 2 weeks, that is your signal. Rip it out. Do not get emotionally attached. Do not assume users just haven't discovered it yet. If it is not getting used, it is adding complexity without adding value. This will create a feedback loop that is tighter and more valuable than anything that we had access to before the AI era. Here's what that feedback loop looks like. Step 1, a customer asks for something. Step 2, you build it. Step 3, ship it with analytics. Step 4, you watch the data for a week or 2. And step 5, you decide. Keep it and make it better, or kill it and move on. The entire cycle happens in days, not months. You can run through this loop multiple times in the time it used to take to get a single feature through a traditional product committee or process. Here is the other thing that happens. When a feature does work, you know exactly who is using it. You can reach out to those specific users. Ask them what they like. Ask them what could be better. Get targeted, high-quality feedback from the people who are actually engaged with the feature, not hypothetical feedback from people in a survey who may never use it. That is the difference between speculative research and evidence-based iteration. One is based on the things people say they would do, and the other is based on what people actually did. Now remember, your advantage as a solo bootstrap SaaS founder is speed, and you need to lean into that as hard as you possibly can. Big companies cannot do this. They have product committees and sprint planning and stakeholder reviews and compliance checkpoints. A feature request in an enterprise company enters a pipeline and emerges 6 months later if it survives at all. You can turn a customer conversation into a shipped feature before lunch. That is a superpower. Do not waste it by recreating the bureaucracy of companies you're competing against. The moral of the story is simple. Just ship it and go from there. Do not overplan, do not over-research, do not let perfect be the enemy of shipped. Build it, measure it, and decide based on the data. Now, here's your homework. Look at your feature backlog right now. Pick one thing a customer has asked for that seems reasonable. Build it this week. Wrap analytics around it, ship it, and then watch what happens. I bet you will learn more from that single experiment than from 3 months of planning. If you want help validating your SaaS idea before you even start building, try my free SaaS idea validator at bootstrappersparadise.com. I also included a link in the description below. It will help you pressure test whether the problem is worth solving. And once you have that confidence, the rest is just shipping. Thanks for watching my content, and I'll see you in the next one.